Okay, everybody, welcome to today's session. It's great to have you all with us. We're going to give everyone another minute to arrive and get settled in, and we will begin this session as we always do at 2 minutes past the hour. But thank you all very, very much for being with me. This is a very exciting session. I can't wait to get started, but we will wait just another few seconds and begin, like I said, at 2 minutes past. In the meantime, let us know where in the world you are joining from today. We'll see if we can make this the most diverse session of the entire week. Just drop us a note in the chat. It's always fun to see how many parts of the world we can cover. All right, my friends, it's 2 minutes past the hour. So let me say welcome, one and all. We have people coming in from all over the world, very hot parts of Europe, Germany, the UK, Scotland, all over the US, Costa Rica, Kenya. Very cool. Welcome, everybody, from wherever you may be joining today. It is great to have you with us. Today's session is no developer, no problem. Build apps for your nonprofit with a simple prompt. We're going to be talking today about Monday's incredible vibe coding tool. It's one of the most exciting sessions. I mean, all the sessions we have this week as part of our AI Impact Studio are exciting, but I have to be honest, this one is definitely up there. It's a completely revolutionary bit of software. I'm sure you're going to love it. My name is Alex. You've probably seen me before. I am the Nonprofit Success Manager who is taking a lot of these different training sessions. If anyone is joining us for the very first time, it is great to meet you. You're welcome to join me for future sessions as well. I'll also just give a very quick introduction to my colleague Omer, who is also with us. Do you want to just say quickly hi, Omer? Omer's going to be manning the chat for us today, trying to answer as many of your questions as possible.
Hey, great to be here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a very interesting session with Amichai, and I'll be on the backstage for this session.
Thank you so much, Omer. And yeah, Omer did give a little teaser there. We're joined today by the one and only Amichai. I'll let him introduce himself in a bit more detail in just a moment. But do you want to just say hi, Amichai, before we continue?
Hi everyone, happy to be here.
Amazing. Amichai is really the brains behind Monday's vibe coding mission. He'll tell you more about his work and what vibe coding can do. While I am here, I'm just going to steal the first couple of minutes to introduce what Monday.com for nonprofits is. I know we have people who are joining today's session from a huge variety of experience, right? Some of you may be existing Monday users who've got experience for many, many years. Others may be brand new to the platform and not even know what Monday.com or Monday.com for nonprofits is. So I'm going to begin by just explaining what Money.com can do for nonprofits and how you can join our nonprofit program if you are yet to do so. So just give me 1 second while I share my screen. There we go. Make sure that I'm in full screen mode for you all. All right. So Monday.com currently has a bit over 250,000 paying customers, but we also have this incredible nonprofit commitment. We offer our platform either for free or very heavily discounted to currently 27,500 active nonprofits. And we hope to grow that number all the time. If anybody is here and not on the program, welcome. We would love you to join us. There's really two steps to get started on Monday.com as a nonprofit. The first step is pretty simple to open an account. And you can do that right here at monday.com/nonprofits. Opening an account is very easy, takes just a few minutes. And it doesn't really matter who you are at that stage. Everybody gets a free account for 2 weeks. That gives you time to play around with the system, see which features you like and which ones you're going to need, and then choose a paid plan. However, for nonprofits, they can then complete the second step, which is to come here to our mini site where you can apply to join the nonprofit program. If you are eligible, you will get 10 seats for free. And it's in fact 10 seats for free on each of our four core products. So theoretically, it could be as many as 40 seats for free. If you need to buy extra seats, we give you a nice discount of 70% discount. And if you're interested in these AI features, ongoing all the way into the future, we are offering a 33% discount off these AI credits. So you can vibe code cheaper than anyone else at Monday. It's a very nice discount. And I hope that many of you will take advantage of it. So yeah, once you've opened your account, you can check out the eligibility criteria here. You do need to be a registered nonprofit. We do run a couple of pretty simple checks to make sure that everything is legit. You can check the criteria here. They're pretty easy to understand. And then the application form, that's open right here on this page. That also will take you just a few minutes to fill out. We don't need to ask too many things about you. Just want to make sure that everyone is playing by the rules and a legitimate nonprofit, and then we can make that switch kind of behind the scenes pretty much automatically. And oftentimes, the very same day that people apply and create their account, they're already in there on the nonprofit program with them and 9 colleagues paying nothing at all to get started, which is pretty awesome. We've also got other resources here if you want to check out the other free courses that we're offering, free consultation sessions, some success stories, etc. But you can find all of that at monday.com/nonprofits. So do check it out. And if anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to ask them in the chat. We will do our best to answer all of your questions in the chat today, myself and Omer and a couple of other colleagues. But if we can't get through all of them, please don't panic. We'll be sure to send you resources for where you can find other answers. And we're actually going to use Monday Vibe to answer some of your questions as well. I'm going to take all of the questions that get asked during this week, and we'll build a nice Monday Vibe into a kind of Q&A where we can answer all of the questions that have been asked that maybe we didn't have time to answer during the session. And one last point then before I pass the mic on to Amichai, and that is a question people always ask. Is this session being recorded? The answer is yes, it is. And we will be sharing all the recorded sessions with you throughout the entire week. Tomorrow, you'll be getting an email with absolutely everything we've covered in the last 3 days. All 6 sessions will be sent directly to your inbox. So, with that being said, how are you doing, Amichai? Thank you so much for joining us. It is a real privilege. And we'd love to hear a little bit more about Monday Vibe.
Hi. So let's start. So you can find Vibe if you're on the new layout that we are just releasing on the left pane in Monday Vibe. If you have the old one, you will see it on the AI section, or that you'll have a small heart icon here. Basically, Vibe, let's start from the beginning. It takes your words, anything you describe, and it can build a custom app, custom code for you. So here, if you don't know where to start, we have a lot of ways to do it. We have a lot of ideas. We looked at your last board and we gave you ideas of what you can build. So I opened a board with inventory audit, so it's already offering me a prompt I can start with. We have a lot of templates. We'll go over them and some design inspiration. But let's just build something. The best way to start is to actually start with your own data. So you can connect any one of your existing boards. So let's say I have a volunteering board, a volunteering registration, right? So let's say I want to create some kind of way when volunteers can register for shifts. So it even gave me an idea for a scheduling tool that match volunteering availability with optional needs, calendar view, and so on. I also love to select a theme. So sorry, it was a bit too fast, but we have tons of ways to customize how the app is going to look and feel. Let's say my volunteering is more back to school. So I'm going to take this theme, but we have professional and dark and light and anything you want. And if you don't know what you want, the AI will analyze what's the best thing for you. And I'm just going to build it. So what's happening right now, our AI is, if I connect to the board, it reads the board, or at least some of the content, how it, like the name, the columns, it reads my prompt. And then we have like a product manager that says, okay, which kind of product do I need in order to make it work? And then we have a designer that say, okay, so I need a calendar view, and I need a top bar, I need a lot of things. And then we have a coder that actually writes the code. We even have another coder that does review, and in 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to make it. Now I'm just going to put it. We're going to go back to it in a second, because basically it takes couple of minutes, and I want to show you a couple of things you can do with it. So a lot of people, what they do with Monday, right? Monday, basically the best thing to do with Monday is project management, right? You have a lot of tasks and projects, and they have statuses and done. And then what they do is they build like a beautiful dashboard. And basically with Vibe, you can build any dashboard that you want. But then what they do with the dashboard, they copy it, okay? And they take a screenshot and they put it in a presentation and then share it to someone. So here in this Vibe, I just connected it to my project board. And I told it, why don't you just create the presentation? Okay, it even have a presentation mode, fit it in a full screen, and I can see. And when I see here, for example, the status of all my projects, this is not an image. It's live, it's an application. It actually reads the board and it creates now an image of what I want, right? I can send someone now a link to my project presentation, and no matter when they are going to open it, it will always going to be up to date, right? So I can even open it here on a full screen if my keyboard will work, and it will just open it. Now everything is secured, so it's under if I was connected, it will tell me, okay, please log in to monday.com. We'll talk later about other options. And even I told it, okay, some people don't want it as an application. I do want it as a presentation, okay, or a PDF. I can literally download it, and now I will have a PDF with of the presentation that looks exactly the same, and I can just send it to anyone I want. And so I can modify the app, and it will always be there. So I'm just trying to tell you that the difference between Vibe and like a Monday dashboard is that it really is limitless. And now everything here is also editable. So let's say I want to change something. I want to add another slide, or let's do something very simple. Let's say I want to change the color of the slide, okay? So I can literally tell it, change the color of the slide from blue to pink. I'm not saying, don't take it as the best. Vibe is a better designer than I am, but
I love it.
yeah. But we're Vibe, it's pink. We want it to be a Vibe presentation. So now, again, it reads it. It's a small change. It thought for 5 minutes. Give me, if you're a bit technical, you can read the thoughts. You don't have to. But technically, it's going to change the primary color of the app. Whatever, if you don't care about it, you don't need to read it yourself. Vibe is now building it, and it's just going to update it in a second. Okay. Already finished writing the code. Now it has like a code reviewer step when it checks for bugs. Okay, live demos, they never work like the real product. So I'm a little scared. But let's see if it is going to do what I
Like
want.
working with animals or kids in Hollywood, you never quite know what you're going to get. They say avoid it.
Exactly. Look, there are more than 400,000 apps already built, and every time I build another one, I feel the excitement. Okay, already finished. Just now it's sending Monday like the updated version, and the app is pink. Now that was a very, very small change, right? But I can basically do anything I want. I want another button that sends an email. I want another slide. I want to create like 3 different presentations. I want something completely, it doesn't matter. Just describe it in words here. You can even chat with it. You can ask it, what can I change? And it will do it. Okay, I just wanted to edit with you something. We can go back to the volunteering scheduler. So if you remember, we gave it like a look and feel of a little bit of a back to school. We didn't want something too, maybe it's a volunteering in a high school. So we wanted to give it a bit of a fun design, and it created, I have here a weekly schedule, and I can see like Westside Panther is restocking, right? I can see this is the volunteering opportunity, and I have 3 volunteers assigned, and I can add more volunteers, right? And the whole thing, it built it in the what we talk. I even have a overcapacity of one of my volunteers.
And just to confirm, where did it get these names and these pieces of work
Okay.
from? It came from your board?
Yeah, that's great question. So there's two options. If you have a board, it will just read the board and use it. So if you already have a volunteering board, already have a shift board, just connect them. You can even after the fact, you see here, those are now I didn't select a board. So it just created mock data that I can just change. So here it created one board for, I have a shifts board that is like the database of the application. You see, I can see the name of the shift and when it will be, and the location. I have a volunteer board and I have an assignment board. Okay, but you don't have to do it. And even you can start with what Vibe offers, and you can always connect boards. On the like we can now support up to 20 boards, at least in the growth tier. So you can literally, if you have more, you can add them. So what I'm trying to say, there's two ways to use Vibe. If you already have a board, that's great. Just connect the board and it will fit the app around the board that you have. That's usually, I will tell you, usually that has the best results. And if you don't know, you just want to start, or you just want to experiment, you can just connect boards. You can build without a board, and it will create the data structures for you. Okay. Now I want to talk to you. Now we're saying, okay, first of all, I hope you saw that it wasn't that complicated. Like basically here, I didn't even write this prompt. I just connected the board that was around scheduling and took the prompt. But let's look at the word, because I do want to think about the prompt here. So it's build a scheduling tool. Okay, this is what it is, right? It helps me schedule that matches volunteers availability. Okay, with optional leads presented in a calendar that highlights gaps and ensure balanced shift coverage. To be honest, it's a pretty good prompt. I would write it in a lot worse English and it would still work. But basically, I'm just telling it what it is. It's a volunteering schedule app, right? And then I'm telling it who is going to use it, right? I want to have volunteers and people who manage shifts. And then I'm telling it, okay, and what I want to do with it. So I'm telling it, okay, I want to see my shifts and I want to understand if there's imbalance. In this case, I didn't even tell it to create a new shift, right? I can, now it's another prompt, okay? Add a form to create a new shift. So it's now just going to edit. So I can build it step by step. I don't need to have like the whole system. I can start with something that I like and then just give it another option.
Maybe I can just say on top of that, because I'm training a lot of people to use volunteers and manage volunteers on Monday. And it's such a pain point because you can either bring your volunteers into the system and have them change stuff, but then they need full access to the board and maybe they could make other people's shifts disappear. This way they can see it all and they can interact with it in a very like nice visual way. It's kind of giving you the best of both worlds for the sake of a couple of lines of code that you write in. It's a real game changer, I think, when it comes to managing volunteers. So I love that use case.
Yeah, and I wanna show you something here. Okay, you don't have to be like a Vibe coding genius. We built in Vibe a template center. So those are apps that we built in Monday. Every time that we help a customer build something that is unique and interesting, we just built it. Okay, and we have here a IT asset inventory that you can reuse. This is the product roadmap. We have multiple ways of managing resources, right? This is, for example, a resource management that is a bit more high level, or you have, if you here, you can connect 20 different boards with hundreds of volunteers and see them all in a dense view, right? Everything is possible. And the only thing you need to do, you can just tell it, okay, I want a copy. And it will create a copy of the app. And then right now it will create boards. It's not connected to your own boards, even though you can connect them later. But basically, it just copy paste already working app, and you can use it in your own account. And then you can both see like what is possible without me showing you, and you can start with something that is already working. So here I created some of them just to show you, right? So we saw the project presentation. This is the resource management, again, something really, really painful, right? And now I can see everyone that we saw it in a shift mode, right? It is a bit more week by week and a little more like personal. But here, if I have like 50 different people, it's starting to break, right? So for example, I asked for a heat map and now I can click on a week, or you see every column is a week. This is one of my people who works on the project, and I can see all of their projects, and I can edit it and change it if I want, right? I can see a workload, for example, of every one of them, and I can see in which week they might have too many, or a stack, which project by status, right? So I can see that Taylor has a stack process, or Ella has too many tasks that that haven't started yet. It even look for risks, right? Here is a task that is tasks that are blocked, and it may help, or a list of tasks. I can filter by a specific project. So now it's 2 projects, but I can connect 20 different ones, and each one of them is just a Monday board, right? So you can. So there's 2 ways to look at it, right? If you want something that is very, very simple and custom, you can build it. And if you have like tons of data and you just need a way to see the high level picture and maybe drill down, you can also do it. And everything I built here, there's nothing, it's all just prompt. I just connected it to my project boards, and I told it I need a resource management, and I told it, okay, help me understand the availability. I use the word heat map because it's very, even you can give it, you can, a lot of the time what I do is I just give it a picture of what I like. Like someone built it on Excel, someone built it in another system, right? It's a really easy way to do it. You can literally, let's say, even there's anything you like, you can take a screenshot of it. You can go to Vibe, and I have a bug here. Don't look at it. So I'll go to the internal one. I can just give it an image, and it doesn't have to be from Vibe. It can be for anything else. I said, okay, build a resource management. My English is great. I like the image. Okay, and then I can, as we said, I can connect my actual boards. So project 1, project 2, and it will build something based on the image. Okay. I have a lot of examples. So for shifts more and donors and grant tracking and more visual and using AI. But if there's some interesting questions or comments in the chat, I would like to have a small pause.
Yeah, sure. So I think maybe I'll like summarize a couple of questions that people are asking, which is like around where the vibes live, both from a data point of view, but then also like who can access them? Are they public? Can certain people be restricted from accessing them? Can they be in the system and public? Like kind of those general questions around
Yeah.
access and storage.
So that's great. There's the answer until today and from today. Basically, when you build an app, it lives inside Monday. Okay, so first of all, I have to have access. It uses the permissions of the user who opens the app. It means that nobody can use a Vibe app in order to see data that they are not allowed to see, right? If you have a salary column that is restricted, no matter which Vibe app you have in the system, nobody is going to be able to see this salary column, because if I open it and if Alex open it, we see different things. And if I want to have an access, I need to have access to all the connected board and the app, but I can have different access to items. So if I have different item access, I will see different data. So this is, for example, a shift management that is a bit more robust, right? Here I can see it on a full month, or I can see it as a weekly view with morning, afternoon, evening shifts, and I can select a date and see all the data. Now, let's say you say, okay, I want every person to see only their own shifts, right? So you can go to the shift schedule and decide that users can only see items they are tagged on, for example. And Vibe will inherit the same permissions. So if they don't see the whole thing in Monday, in the board, they won't see it here. So you have full flexibility over the items and the columns. So by default, it is closed to the web. It is you have to be logged in. Using the same permissions. Today, really, right now, we built a new type of a new ability, and this is the option to turn an app public. Okay, so when this is, for example, a registration form. Okay, it can, and right now, when I just build it, I can see only members, so only people with a Monday seat or guests can access it. But we just added the ability, and it's not in everyone. I'll give you this link, and you can register if you want. And like you need to make sure it's going to make a public app It means that data now, everything I said about permission, it's gone because now it's a website. It's like Google, right? Everyone can open it. And there's permissions. It is closed by default that enterprise and admin can decide exactly who can do it because we don't want any data to be exposed. But now this app is public and it has its own URL. So I'm going to share my desktop so you can see it. I'm going to copy now this URL and now I'm going to open it in now it's in incognito, right? That's it. I'm not in Monday anymore. I can fill my data here. I'm a Monday employee. I am going to work hard. I don't know. I'm going to register for beta. And I can put here any app I want. I can do things a lot more complicated than a form. But now, if we look at the Monday board connected to the app, I actually did it twice. But this is the last one. You see, it's Amichai. I'm working hard, July 1st. Okay. And if just to make sure, if I'll make it members only for a second, and I'll try to do the same trick again, it will tell me, no, sorry, you need to be logged in. So you have full control and you can decide. This one actually should be public. I forgot. I hope some people didn't try to fill it while we talk. But so now I will say in Monday it's in the growth tier. So it's not for everyone who uses Vibe. It's the one who, if you on the 25 apps tier, because it's a really, really powerful tool. But basically, it allows you to create apps that are public. And if we go back to the shift management, so you can even take one board and you can have two apps connected to it. One is the view only or form view, where when you can register for new stuffs, and maybe this is public. And it doesn't see the whole data. It just lets you pick shifts and register. And then you have like a management system like this that shows you all of the shifts of everyone. You say, okay, that shouldn't be public. That's only mine. So you can even create multiple apps and they use the same boards, right? So the same data is, there's one source of truth. There's no multiple forms and information. Everything is at the same place. But every vibe is a different way to read and write and interact with the data. So it really is super strong. Okay. Other questions from the chat, or should I move on?
There's a lot of questions, but I think let's move on because
Let's move on.
we'll be with questions forever if we don't.
If you want more, please tell Eran and tell everyone you want more of me. We can do one every month. Okay, this is another. I chose different design for each one of them. And as I said, it's super easy now to make the designs because we just gave you a cheat sheet. You pick the one that you like. We took the best designers in Monday. We did a hackathon. We told them we don't want AI slope, right? We don't want something that looked like Claude just did it on its own. We want it to feel different and look different. So here is a donor and grant tracker, okay? I'll open it in a full screen just so it will be a bit easier to see. Okay, so it's a dashboard, right? I tell it like those are the most important things for me. How much was pledged? How much actually received? How many active grants do I have? What is the collection rate? And I can see it in a kind of a funnel. And I can actually see, for example, those are the grants and those are the donors. And I can see each one of my donors, right? And it's not a Monday board. I don't have to make everything. This one, I would say there's not a lot of technical complexity here, but it feels like it is like I bought with thousands of dollars, like a custom app built for donation management, and I built it myself. And if I want to add a donor, I can. And if I want to add a new ability, let's say, let's add something here that is a bit more complex. Why did it's okay. I need to fix the link there. But okay, so this is the app. And now let's say I want it to help me write an email to the donor, right? Because now there's a donor. Maybe they gave the donation a month ago or a year ago. And now it's a good time to send them a reminder and maybe tell them a little bit about what my NPO did. Okay. So when I view a donor, okay, help me use use AI to write an email to the donor to keep in touch. It could be a lot more complicated. You can give them access or history of what they did, uh, and allow me to send it using Gmail integration. Right? So now we're adding a bit more complicated feature. We're doing two things. First of all, it's going to use AI in the app itself. So I can open a donor, and then it will send the donor details into an LLM that will offer me an email, and then I'm going to use actually send an email from here. Like I don't need other integrations or other system or email management. It will actually work. Hopefully, this one I gave it to do multiple things at once, and here it tells me, okay, please connect your Gmail. So I'm telling it, yes, you can send it through my mail. As you can see, our AI here, our Vibe agent is super smart.
And you've already put in a password at some point here, Amichai? Like it's,
Yes, yeah, it's already connected. So I just selected. If I didn't have it, it will tell me, okay, please first authenticate with Gmail, make sure it's okay. But this one, I already have another Vibe that I already connected my email, so I can skip some of the stages. But on the first, like I cannot connect to someone else's mail or something like that. I will say when we build stuff, that the main difference between Vibe and like Lovable or Base44 or Claude is we think privacy first and security first, right? We can't let you just we sometimes we don't allow you to do things for your own good, right? We don't want, like, let's say if you open something in Claude, it's public by default. For us, everything is closed by default, and you need to make a decision. Your admin make a decision. You have to understand that you now expose something outside, right? If you're connecting email, okay, you have to select it and you have to be like approve it. So everything I can show the admin section in a second. I think it's important. Everything is documented. Everything is reversible. Like we really make sure that there's nothing that you expose or connect or select that will that can take sensitive information and put it outside. And it also means that sometimes I will tell you that sometimes people tell me, but I can do it in Claude, and I say yes, but you can. But who knows who's going to get this data, right? I cannot guarantee that if you build it yourself, something won't you not something not exposed. And in our side, everything is up there. The developers here, they put, I love it, they also put a small copy. Like instead of fixing code, it's telling you minor surgery in progress, patient is stable. It means that it found the bug and it now just fixing it. Yeah, we also try to make it fun. Okay, now let's see if the AI magic, it's okay. It changed more than I wanted. I can fix it later. But for example, here I opened one of my donors and I added a button of generate email. And it created, right? It read it's Marcus Thorn, and this is it's from acmeexample.com. So he wrote, staying in touch, update forum partnership. Dear Marcus, I hope you have everything. Send your name. And this is not a real email, so if I'll send an email here, I don't know where it's going to get to. So I'm not going to send it right now, but it both added AI email generation and it added an email integration here. And by the way, if I don't like the change, it changed too much, I can always tell it, no, go back to the last version. I didn't like the change. So if I click here, hopefully it will take a second and go back to the last version. Okay, I played with this one a bit too much, to be honest. It's one of my demo accounts, so I'll show it in another one. But this was the donors and grants, and I want to show you a little bit more about this AI, because adding AI to apps is really game changing. So you see, for example, everyone has their own project dashboard, right? And Vibe can build, again, any visualization that you want. But here I told it, don't just show me the data. I want you to actually send to the AI like what you got, and then share me the insights. So for example, instead of telling me, look, this is how many tasks are high, low, and medium, it tells me, look, you have always, when you show something, Monday is giving me fadichot. Okay, so here. So instead of just showing me the data, tell me, look, over 50% of the tasks are too high. You need to reprioritize, right? So it's not data, it's insight. And I did it for every one of those, or even for the whole board. Look, here are high priority, here are bottlenecks that the AI found. And here is what we recommend you to do, or I can even do it for you. Right? So adding AI to the app, and everything I need to do here is just like the prompt. Okay, I just told, okay, use AI to do an analysis. I can even build full AI apps. So this is, for example, a chatbot. People ask me tons of questions about Vibe. Okay, so I put all of the questions and answer in one board. I can even put it in docs. And then I told it to build a chatbot. And this is a chatbot, and it answers questions for what is Monday Vibe. It sends now to the AI. The AI is searching the board and tell me, look, it's a AI-powered AI builder. I even told it, now give me follow-ups that I can ask it. Okay, what kind of features can I build with it? And then it asks, and it gives me, you can see, it even shows me what is this is where this is which item it used to give me the answer, so I can see the source if I don't believe it. And I just told it I want to see the source. So it's really, Marcel, muted you. Okay. So you can really build super complex thing like that with that. Or this is a competitor battle card. So this is for battle cards if you want to compare with other customers, but think about it that you're about to meet with a donor and you want to know everything about them, right? We want to know what was their last donation. You want to know if their company is now just got more money or are they laying off, right? You want to understand what is the status because you need this context, right? So here you can get a company. This is more business oriented, but I basically just told it the questions that I care about. And now it searched online using and send it to AI. And then it gave me everything I care about. What is the market share, target audience, strengths and weaknesses, and differentiation? And I can just save this battle card. It saved it on a board, and I'm going to have now I have all of my past searches are here. So I just built a crawling, searching database that is updating itself using AI. So it is a lot more than actually just viewing data in Monday. Right? I have some integrations and I have web search and I have AI and I can really build. Those are things that a year ago, it was impossible. Okay, you had to pay people thousands of dollars and now you can build the whole thing. And you don't need to care about, okay, how do I build permissions or how do I build database and API and those things we take care of. But the full experience, the look and feel, the design, everything that you care about, you have full control over it. Anything from the chat? Give me some.
Yeah. Okay. So
I can continue forever.
I know you're kind of the vibe guy. Okay. So take your vibe head off for just a second. There's a lot of questions people are asking about when they should use Vibe versus other tools. Like what kind of are your guiding principles towards going towards a Vibe? And try and answer this as unbiased as possible, even though I know you love
first of
Vibe.
all, use only Vibe. The rest, no. So there are a lot of so when we look at what Monday offers, okay, I'll go now a little bit. We can literally see it here on the left pane. We have Sidekick. Sidekick is the closest. It's going to be a lot more. To be honest, we have crazy things that we're planning. But right now, it's like your Claude or ChatGPT. Right? It can analyze data. It can create boards. It can summarize things. It can edit your data. A lot of the time when I use it, for example, all of those examples, sometimes I'm telling it, okay, I want to create a project board and I want to have a lot of data that looks real. So it can just do it. But you can do a lot more, right? You can tell it, read my Jira and read my email and read the Monday board and create, I'm not going to connect, but read my emails and create a board from it. Okay, so, but Sidekick right now, it is on the go, right? If I have, right now I have a question, right now I have a need, I will open Sidekick. It can also, by the way, it can build a vibe up, right? I can just tell it, build a vibe and it will send it to vibe. But it's not about the vibe, it's about no matter what you ask from it, it can even know how to send you to a different product, right? So just to give you an example. So if I want something that is, it's like ad hoc, right? I need it right now. I also have the Sidekick and I can just ask it show me a
the
pie chart of
auction.
my competitors by size based on the board. Okay, so it will read the board, it will create an analysis, it's even going to give me a pie chart. It even works with spelling mistakes, so it's really good. So I will go to Sidekick when I have a need right now. I need to change, like it's a one-time change, right? It's a one-time question. I have like millions of those a day, right? But see, when will I move to, for example, Vibe here? If I want the same question all the time, right? Then I don't want to type it every time in Sidekick, wait for it to finish, and then see it. I will tell Vibe, okay, those are the questions I always want answered every time I want to open it, and then I'll get it. Here, you see, I got this nice pie chart, and that's great. But okay, now I always want this pie chart, and maybe I don't want a pie chart. I want it in like 5 different ways, and maybe I want. Okay, so Sidekick is really good for the everyday questions and everyday tasks. The second thing that we have is the agents. Now, agents, first of all, they are the newest one, and they are the one improving like fastest because we just released them, and they have like millions of different things that they're doing. Agents are really good when I want something to be done for me. Okay, so even like I love Vibe, but everything that I showed you is okay. I use Monday or I have data and I want a way for people to fill their boards and people to an easier way for me to put volunteers in shifts. But maybe I want someone else to put the volunteers in shifts, right? So I can literally take the board, even connected to the Vibe, right, with the volunteers, and I can here's the volunteer registration. And then I can build an agent that tell it every time that someone registers to volunteer, go over all of the open slots, find the one that is relevant, send them an email telling them, look, this is the option I gave you. What do you think? Do you want me to send it? Yes or no?
Great minds
So,
think alike. We actually just built an agent to do this,
uh,
and these folks who joined our session yesterday will be receiving a copy of this agent soon. So
so
yeah,
that's
great
super
use case.
cool. And I just we didn't talk about it before, but what I'm trying to
No.
say is that an agent is using Monday like you. Right? It's another person in the team. And to be honest, they don't need a Vibe UI. Like Vibe is a really good way to talk to agents, to view the data, to view the work, to collaborate. But the agent is actually doing it for you. By the way, you can even build Vibe with agents. I have like build. Let's say I want every time that someone joins the account to build them an onboarding Vibe. Or okay. Build, let's give it a second, an agent that builds a Vibe app every time someone joins my account. So actually the agent, they can write the prompt, they can send it to Vibe, they can update it, they can do anything you want. And they, in a moment, we are going to have Vibe collaborators, and you will see that you and your agents can both edit the Vibe. So everything is interconnected, but the role is a bit different, right? So I will let this agent work, but Sidekick is for the ad hoc, everyday work. Agents are doing the work. It's like a team member. They are actually, their goal, an agent is great if it's actually created, took work from you. Okay, Vibe is great if it gave you like the best visualization and made your work 10 times easier. So Vibe is still making your work faster and more efficient. And sometimes there's something that we will never give agents, right? We'll give them more and more, but they're not they're not going to work. Someone will need to work with them, right? So Vibe is more in the collaboration, even though you can build very, very sophisticated things with it. I will leave this one. So this Vibe, note taker, that's a way for giving the agents and Vibe the context. By the way, you can build a Vibe that reads the note taker. Everything is connected. But if you have the note taker in, and then you ask your agent, okay, what are my open tasks? They can actually read your all of your meetings and tell you like this is the answer. So we see note taker as the best way to give the context you need to make everything work. And the workflows, which we call now AI workflows, this is what you use if you have a very, very strict process, right? If, for example, you say every time someone is opening a shift, then do 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe ask AI in the middle, then continue. So if it's better to use a workflow because it's very, very deterministic. think about it that like an emailing someone, it's under, you don't know what they're going to answer. They can answer anything. They can ask you any question in the world. So this is something that maybe an agent is good at. But doing the same task every day at 8 a.m., like an agent is overkill. And the agent will be sometimes, because its powers is that it's undeterministic. But it's also if you want something to be very, very specific and deterministic, that's a problem. So it's a bit cheaper, right? There's no AI in most of the steps. It's more predictable. But if a user is asking something outside of the lines of what the workflow knows, then it blocks. So there's a lot of good. So if you see here, meeting summarizer, every time that a meeting is ending, take the content, send it to AI to summarize it, open it in a board. It's the same thing forever. That's a great use case for a workflow. By the way, we have a workflow that can call an agent. So for example, by weekly competitor news, you can create a workflow that runs every 2 weeks, get data from a lot of time, send all of it to an agent, then tells it to do like something more complex, decide if you need to send it on Slack or like make decisions and then continue. So there's also ways, I know it's a bit much, but you can really connect them differently based on the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah, cool. No, I mean, it makes sense. Like with everything in Monday, there's often more than one way to achieve the same thing. And I think it's the same here, but I think that's very helpful to understand where they have their strengths and when you'd use each one. So that's great. So look, I would love to see another couple of use cases if we have time, unless Omer, you see any important trends in the chat that you want to surface or any questions that you think would be really interesting to everybody, or should we take a look at another use case?
I did see a few questions here. First of all, regarding the templates of the agents that we did for nonprofits. If it works also on CRM, if it works on work management and CRM. So all of these templates, as well as Vibe templates, like everything also what Mihai showed here, we will have consolidated along with the FAQs and recordings from Impact Studio in a landing page that we'll share within the next few weeks. So we'll have everything in a nice, beautiful page with all the information. So don't worry about that. Like you can research and investigate further, even if we don't answer these questions here. So just wanted to point that out. So yeah, something to look out for.
Amazing. Thanks, Omer. Okay, great. So, Mihai, in that case, is there time we can see another use case? What's the next best one you've got here that we could maybe take a look at? And I'm sorry to say you're muted.
I want to show you, a little more about the different type of vibes that we have. So this is, for example, this is a project board when I want to log time tracking. A lot of people are doing time tracking, and here every item is a project, and every sub item is like a task or a time tracked by someone. Now, users can open a board and then look for the sub item and then like open a new task and fill it. But here I wanted to do something a bit more custom without leaving out the board. I still want the board. So we have the option to create item views. Okay. So for example, here I can just create a Vibe app. And it was going to change or add another way to see an item. And here I just told it to build a time tracking item. I told it I want a big button, start time tracking. And it asked me what I'm working on, so it's a new task. And if you look at the board, it actually created a sub-item, made me the owner, put the status, put the start date and end date. And like all of instead of me feeling like 50 different things, I clicked on a button and I told them like the name. And let's say I stopped it now. Okay. I worked hard. It is billable. I'm going to save it. And you are going to see that the item is done. Okay, so for me, it's nothing. I like as an employee, I can just open my project, search for the project, just open it, and I have my own vision, and I don't have to build everything from scratch. I have only this time tracking app, and this is an old item. Like this is a new project. Here is a project with tons of time logged. So I told it, if you do that, show me like a statistic about the specific project. How many hours, billable, over time, show me versus the team median, what percent is billable. I can always time track, and I can also open it in a form if I forgot to do it yesterday, right? So it's if I'm an employee, I just want the simplest thing ever to just fill time. That's it. Then I have this project, right? So I can build a board view. So I can tell it the same board. I don't want multiple things. Just take this board and just build me more things. You see, Vibe even offers me things that is relevant for the board. And now I have a workload that reads the whole board and all of the items and all of the sub items, and it's going to show me. Let's open it in. Yeah, and it's showing me a dashboard here, and maybe it shows me over time. The data is mock, so it's a bit crazy. And hours by project, and maybe the team utilization. So what percent is billable? And I can see that Asaf is maybe lying, and Adi needs to have more hours that is billable. And I can see it by top members, and I can pick a person and see exactly all of their tasks from all of the items without searching for it. Okay, or just filter by a user or a time, or download a report I can in a PDF that I can just send my my accountant. Here I told it to look exactly like the board, but it doesn't have to be like that, like the app. So that's like in the team level. And sometimes we have multiple teams, right? So for example, I have here a development team and finance team and design teams and support teams, and also a list of clients. And now I want to read from all of their data, right? I want to see time tracking in all of my accounts, in all of my projects. So I build this cross-team time tracking app. Okay, so it's connected to all of those boards, and I can connect 20 of them. And now it shows me, for example, my teams in what the velocity, like how many hours were logged versus efficiency, what percent is billable. And I can see that the design is overachievers and the finance need to work a bit more. The top contributors, I can see the overall billable. I can see my customers that maybe work with different projects for different departments, but now it aggregates by the same customer and see the whole thing for all of them. I can even see here that someone logged 86 hours of a task, and I think they might forgot to just close it. So I added a button that tells them, look, you have nudge them to maybe fill their time correctly before we get sued. And of course, I can drill down, show me only design, only development, only support, or specific time frame, right? So you can see how we can take an app from like the employee level and an item to the board, to the multi-board, and really modify everything. We even have, it's out of my story here, but we even have, like, if you have a widget, a dashboard here, this is a board dashboard, so it's a single board dashboard. But for example, I love the Monday charts. I love the, we have a lot of them, right? We have these pies and we have these bars, but it's not exactly what I wanted. Then I can just create a new widget, a Vibe widget. I give it any prompt that I want, and it just creates here. It's a new Vibe. I can change it, I can increase it, I can add whatever I want, and I can create a dashboard that half of it is like Monday's regular features and half of it is Vibe coded. So basically, anywhere that you want, you can modify with Vibe. You can even, like, here is, for example, it's a company portal that I built that has everything. Okay, you want a help desk? With opening a ticket, you have it. You want a calendar to see the company's events over the year, you have it. Employee directory in a tree org, time off, when you can log time, expenses. We even have in Monday, we replaced the newsletter, the company newsletter now, it's a Vibe that they just update the content and it looks exactly as they want. But now I don't want it here. I want everyone to see it. So I actually have an option to set it as a homepage. Okay. And now every time someone is opening Monday, instead of like the Monday homepage, they actually see the company portal. So now this is the homepage of Monday. So I can actually replace it with a Vibe. And so you see, it's the flexibility here is super, super wide. You can, from like the widget and item to the whole system, to just put it open it in a full screen and share it to someone that the only thing that they will ever see is the Vibe. They can use it without opening Monday ever in their life, right? They can just get a URL, even the public one, and that's it. This is Monday. And for them, this is everything that they see, and they don't have to see anything else. And you can decide, it's a pick and choose. So you want the hybrid model, you want the full model, you want public, you want secured, like you have everything here. I will say if I have 5 minutes, but it is important. I do want to show you a little bit around the admin section, just to show you about the control. There are two things you want to see. We have this new AI governance. So first of all, we have AI permissions that, as I said, they control everything. Both, not only for Vibe, you see I have here I have so many. Let me close a couple of my tabs because my computer is slower than Vibe. But you have agents and Sidekick, but here you have Vibe. You can decide who can build vibes and create, who can publish, who can create public, who can create templates. You can even move vibes between accounts. So we put it also under permission, so not someone will take a vibe from your account with your data and put it somewhere else, but it is possible, but it has permission. And secondly, we have credit usage, when you can see exactly which AI feature is using the credits, and you can see what is Vibe and what is not, and who is the top users and which feature they're using. You can limit it by feature. You can say Vibe can have up to 5,000 apps. You can even have it by users. You can say I have a specific groups of users, they can create 10,000 credits, and this one can take 500 credits per week or per month. And with Vibe, you can see how many vibes you have in your account, like total, how many are public, how many are internal that are published, right? And for each one of them, you can see exactly how many prompts they took, how many credits are using from the building, and how many credits for using, and how many people actually view the app. Like if you see someone that not use it at all, you can, as an admin, by the way, you can unpublish them, and you can transfer the ownership, and you can see exactly what can they access. So everything is as an admin, you have full control, both on the price and like spend of credits, and on the visibility and who is using those apps and credits. So everything is fully controlled by you. And as I said, this is our promise, right? I'm not, to be honest, right? I'm not promising we'll have the most technologically advanced one, or that we will have, it will be the easiest to use, but we will make sure that we are not pushing like a new feature that can expose data, because we first of all make sure that this, in no case, data will be exposed or something will be uncontrolled or not used. First of all, we'll think about permissions and control, and then we make sure we give you the best experience to use them. So that's really what we think about every time that we build or use something. That's Vibe and basically all of them. So I showed you Vibe, but if you saw here, like we have the same thing for agents and for Sidekick and for everything. So all of the AIs around that.
That's a really helpful way to tie it together, because I think a lot of people are asking these questions about, how do I know who's using what? And that was very, very insightful. So thanks, Amichai. I think I have maybe time for one last question, and I'm going to kind of combine a lot of different people's questions here. Maybe you have any like general tips just to finish things off around writing a good prompt, how to ensure that the model understands what you're asking for, and how to obviously limit how many times you need to ask it, and reduce the number of credits that are needed to do that. So maybe that's the final question I'll ask. Any last tips for writing to Vibe?
Yeah. So I'll give you the basic here. So and I think we have it written somewhere. No, but to give a good prompt, like the first prompt is usually like, what is this app? Okay, it's a volunteering shift management. Who is going to use it? Okay, is it going to be for volunteers? It's going to be the person who manages the volunteers? Both? Like, who is the customer, right? And then what is the main thing they should be able to do? View shifts, create new shifts, edit shifts, like give it like a list. It could be like 3 or 4 things, but what is the main thing they should do it? And then what is the look and feel? Look and feel could be an image. It could be one of our themes. It could be like in words. I want it to be professional. I want it to be dark mode. I want it to be friendly. Just give it in words. That will give you a really great start. And then just iterate and do it one by one. Then, okay, now add a form. Okay, now fix this bug. I will even tell you that two things about the credits there is, if you give Vibe to do 5 things in a row, first of all, the AI will get lost a little bit, and but it will take you more credits. So a lot of the time, given it small changes, it's more like it's also helping the AI do it. By the way, if you give like 3 or 4 prompts by one after the other, we have like a caching mechanism for some of the system prompts and stuff like that. So usually like 3 or 4, one after the other is even cheaper than couple of big ones very separated. So just do them one by one. Omer gave us the idea. You can also talk to Vibe, right? You can tell it, help me plan. We are going to create a really good plan mode very soon. But right now we have parts of it, so we can talk with Vibe and ask it and help you. It can even ask you questions back and give you options. So just tell it, help me plan an app for, and it will also help you do it.
Yeah, I will also add that Brad here, thank you, Brad, just shared a YouTube channel. I think it's the correct one. Okay. Is there a YouTube or like a link to an academy that we can share about Vibe specifically?
So I have in my YouTube, I also we have some of them in the Monday one, but I put all of the videos when I build. You can see here the the time tracking I showed and a lot of different apps that I build and tips. I will also tell you, I will use this. Okay, I don't have it here, but I also have in my LinkedIn, I also share a lot of them. And we are trying to create a website that official for Monday with all of the information, but it's still being built. If you ask for it more, it will be easier for me to do it with marketing. But you are all welcome to follow. For example, I give tons of those videos just for today. For example, I released about new features. So we added a feature when you can extract your theme from a URL, and I just have like a small bite-size example of how can you use this feature. So you are more than welcome to follow and ask me more questions there. I'm very responsive.
Amazing, amazing. And also a lot here have asked about the AI chat, how to add it. If there's a video for that, maybe that can be helpful here for quite a few people.
So I'm going to add, I will do a video, it's great, and I'll add it to the templates soon if people love it. But basically, if you tell Vibe you want to build a AI chat, it will do 90% of the work for you.
Nice.
Amazing. Thank you very much, my friends. I hate to be the guy who tells us we need to wrap it up, but time is precious and we want to be respectful of everybody's time. So we will wrap this session here. But a big, big thank you to everybody, first of all, who joined. We had amazing engagement and so many interesting questions. So thank you all for that. Thank you also very much to Omer and to Iran and my colleagues in the chat who are doing an amazing job answering as many questions as possible. Also, a shout out to the users who are helping out there. It was really cool to see people helping and answering questions for one another. That's really nice. And the biggest thanks of all go to you, Amichai. It's really, a privilege to hear from the boss and get your insights on some of this stuff. So it's really cool. I will finish by saying this session was recorded. Probably our most frequently asked question. You will be sent a recording link of all of the sessions. We have one more session coming up today. This will be the final session of our AI Impact Studio. So please join us for that. It's going to tie together a lot of the different things we've talked about throughout the week and kind of weave it into one session around kind of automating a full workflow using various AI tools. So it's a nice session that will be starting 2 hours from now. But I'll leave the final word of the day to Amichai. Thanks again, everybody, and have a good day from me. Amichai, you want to say a few last words and then we'll wrap it up.
Thank you for this reaction. That's really great to see. And Vibe and build. We have a feedback form in the builder. If you have any problem, you can fill it there. We read it. There's a meeting link even with me and the team. We would love to help you. We just want to help you like work better, faster, and just the way that you want. And Vibe and the whole AI, that's our goal. So we built it for you, not because it's fun, even though it is.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, everybody. All the best. Bye-bye.